Companies all over the world have faced headwinds, macro headwinds, over the last couple of years, and Oando is no different from that. On the macro environment, we've seen the slowdown in demand from China, which has basically rolled out into a slowdown in the rest of the global economy. We've seen the continuing recession in Europe, which has also seen a reduction in demand. And also we've seen huge ructions in the oil price. What is the main cause of that? Well, the Americans have pushed a significant amount of oil into the market over the last 10 years that has put the oil and demand balance out of sync. So there's a choice that the major producers in the Middle East had to make. Were they going to lose market share, being the lowest cost producer, or were they going to protect market share and drop the price? They chose to drop the price, and all of us in Oando and in Nigeria have been feeling the effects of that. Government expenditure in most developing countries is what really makes or breaks the average person's experience of the average day. In Nigeria, government income is dominated by oil income. Oil income is made up of how much oil you sell and how much you sell it for. We've discussed why the price is now lower, because due to the American oil and the Saudis trying to get their market share back, the price has fallen. So the price has fallen by more than half if you compare to about 2 years ago. So we're making a lot less money for each barrel of oil that we sell. But of course, unfortunately, most of you will be very aware that we have some problems in the Delta. The pipeline vandalism has resulted in production falling to as low as 1.6 million barrels per day. This is against a budget of close to 2.2 million barrels per day. So not only are we selling a lot less oil, we're selling it for a lot less money per barrel. This means the government has a lot less money, capital projects will not be mobilized, infrastructure projects won't happen, jobs won't be created, there'll be a fear in the country, there'll be a lack of demand, people will hang on to their money, and we'll basically see the economy shrink. For the first time in, I think, almost 7 years, we saw Nigeria have a negative GDP growth in the last quarter. So these are indeed difficult times. As of Q3 in 2015, the company was in a loss position, and of course this was a continuation of the problems we saw in 2014. Our upstream businesses, OER and OES, remain challenged by the oil price situation. OER due to the revenue challenge, and OES due to the lack of business in the swamp, as JV entities remain chronically underfunded as a result of the deficit in government funding. In the midstream, our gas and power business turned another solid performance, a testament to the chance that we took several years ago to grow the pipelines business, a chance that no one else had the daring or indeed the skills to take on. Our downstream business, normally a cash cow for us, was impacted by reduced allocated volumes and also difficulty in accessing forex to import significant volumes which support their revenue line.
The capital cost of running the business we're already doing something about, but even the operational cost of running the business is another point of focus. We've got to consider the issue of making sure that the business we've got is right-sized for the kind of future that we expect. And this, in the main, will have to concentrate on being a more efficient organization. More efficient organization, for example, includes the reduction of the floor space that we use. In this building, we used to use three and a half floors. We've been able to eliminate one of the floors. That's a give or take about 30% reduction. We are starting to harness the use of technology much better in terms of meetings. Instead of face-to-face meetings, we're able to at least avoid the cost of travel, in some cases international travel, and be able to use video conferencing rather than traveling for face-to-face meetings. The cost of developing our staff, we know that we've got an obligation to develop our staff. We know that they've got to have the right training and the right tools to be able to deliver on their responsibilities. But we've got to find ways to be able to deliver that much better. Through webinars and other online courses, we've been able to bring the kind of courses and the kind of training that our staff require. We've been able to bring them to them without or actually seeing a significant reduction in travel costs, seeing a significant reduction in even the cost of obtaining those courses. Those are some of the things that we are employing to ensure that the organization itself can face the reality of the day, and that we are right-sized and ensure that we can cover our expenses going forward.
At the end of last year, we promised our shareholders that we would return to profitability in 2016 and begin to create shareholder value. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to take you through a series of proactive steps that will take the business forward. The first step is the MTL, the medium-term loan. Many of you may have heard about the 94 billion Naira loan that we've recently concluded with several Nigerian banks. This loan is to make a lot of existing debt more manageable in three key ways. The first is that it's a medium-term loan. It's 5 years. This means the debt is stretched out for a longer period. This makes it easier to manage. We can stretch the money, the repayments out over a longer period. The second way is that we will not be making the principal payments on the debt for the first 3 years of the loan. This eases our cash flow and again helps our business. The third way is that we have a great rate on the loan. It's much less than the market rate, and this reduces our financing costs, which means we can plow that money back into operating the business. The second step is the strategic alliance with Vitol, the world's largest trading company, and Helios Partners, the largest private equity investor in Africa. The alliance brings two benefits. The increased funding in the downstream business will strengthen ODS's position as number one in the downstream sector in Nigeria, and the cash that the group gets from the transaction will help to pay down debt at the center. The third step will see the conclusion of a new equity investment in our gas and power business. This investment will be used to expand our gas pipelines business and invest in power and gas processing projects. The team will continue to be managed by the same people, and the proceeds will be used to reduce debt at the center. The fourth step will see the sale of our energy services business to the existing management team in OES and a new equity partner. This will remove a significant amount of debt from the Oando PLC balance sheet. The fifth item is the conversion of an existing shareholder loan to equity. This will reduce our interest payments in the short term and help ease our cash flow constraints.